This week's episode from OnOne's Perfect Inspiration used multiple modules from OnOne's Photo Suite 7 to create a cool black and white image. Kinda gives it a tilt shift effect, and you can just download the Photo Suite 7 yourself and get started. But I'll just show you some of the more important features of the workflow using one of my own images of a peacock from Tasmania. Today I'm just going to look at one of the Perfect Inspiration tutorials, number 48, Growing Your Future by Looking at Your Past with Brian Matthias. And I'll just post it under my tutorials here, and I'll just have it above here, episode 48. So the idea is that we will be using one of our old photos, and after going through the workflow you'll come out with an image like this. It kind of uses this tilt shift effect and brings down the focus to the foreground. So let's get started. So I've just selected this image from down in Launceston in Tasmania. It was at Cataract Gorge, which was about 5 minutes drive out of the city. There was just this huge gorge with a river running through it really fast. It was nice. So just behind this peacock you can just see the rising sun. And if I go through the bracket, you can kind of see how there was all this nice fog. It was a really cool morning in Tasmania. The one I'm going to edit though is this one, because I've just got this really nice curve to the peacock here. And there's a little wallaby in the background as well. Cute little guys. Alright, so this tutorial used multiple modules of the OnOne Photo Suite 7. So you have to start in perfect layers, and the way you do this is you select the file you want to use, go down to File, Plug-in Extras, and just select Perfect Layers. So Brian Matthias actually masked in a fake sky into his image, but since my image already has this really nice fog, I didn't want to do that part of the workflow. So for me, I just click on black and white up here to start stylizing. Now you guys can follow Brian in his tutorial to learn how to make the preset, but I already went through that, and here's one I prepared earlier under my presets, and I've labeled it Cool Tone. So you can see how it's brought this really nice blue tinted tone to the black and white, and it's held up the shadows really nicely. It created this nice effect with the sunlight. I think it just really held the image really well. So we just click apply. Now we want to jump into focal point, so other module. So to do that we go over to focus here, and all our settings and changes that we just made over in black and white will be brought over here into focal point. There we go. So the idea in here is that we want to bring the focus of the image to the front, and to do this we change the focus bug to planar size. Where is it? Ah, there. You have to grab the little legs on the bug and move them in and out. You can see that. So we just want to make it horizontal. So this is a good little trick I learned off Brian, where I hold down the Alt key, and if you're on the Mac you just hold down the Option key and then click inside the bug and you pull forward or backwards. You can see how it's kind of given it this three-dimensional space and orientation to the bug. So we're just going to push it forward like this, and that'll give a tilt shift effect to the actual blur. You can see how it's starting to blur here and up and here. So we just bring down the amount to around 10 to 13%. So we don't want it too much. So yeah, the blur was just here. And we're just dropping the amount down to say 12%, which is great. We also just want to drop the brightness a little and increase the contrast. And you just do that for what looks good for your image. Okay, click apply. And we just click save, and it will bring it back to Lightroom. Okay, so that brought it back into Lightroom. You can see here is our before and our after. Now we just want to change a couple of things in Lightroom as well, just to sort of bring the focus on this peacock. So we're just going to bring up the shadows a bit so there isn't too much clipping, just a little bit. Add some contrast and overall clarity. That'll give it a little bit of pop. You don't want to give it too much though. And it is a little bit too cool, so we're just going to bring up this temperature to like 2. That'll just make it a little bit warmer. Actually brought out the feathers nicely here. Now we're just going to go to our graduated slider and we want to drop the exposure slightly and increase the contrast and clarity. And then I'm just going to slide it down like this. And that'll darken the sky a little bit. Just do it up the top. And that'll bring the focus more down to the bottom of the screen. And that's it. That is episode 48 of Perfect Inspirations. If you want any of the OnOne software, I'll just have the links above or below the video. Cheers.